Sorry, Cap. Sorry, hello, good morning. Sorry, Cap from Thailand. How are you doing? Welcome back to a Blue Tie here from Thailand. Hope you're doing well. And it's Wan Khan Tuesday here in Thailand, and it's the Queen's Mother's birthday, so it's a public holiday. And kids off school, baby's off school, and even my partner's got a day off today. So, but she just has one day off a week. Anyway, so that's great. Anyway, so. We've got another busy day at City. For instance, yesterday, the past 24 hours. And if you don't know me, I'm Triple Tie. I do daily updates of Man City, Man City men, ladies, youth team, whatever comes news for Manchester City, and here we go. So, for instance, let's see what's happened in the last 24 hours at Manchester City. Okay, right. So the Tiana Reijnders, etc. transfer, I believe it's going through, but we haven't heard anything concrete as yet. For instance, I'm still waiting for that because I'll be the first to be go through, but nothing's really happened yet. But I'd be very surprised. I just feel that, for instance, we're gonna get a here we go or whatever. For instance, from Fabrizio or about that transfer very soon. Okay, so what else? For instance, Rayan Cherki is also for instance, progressing well, I believe. The fee is around about 35 to 40 million for him. For instance, again, it's depending on who you believe, who you're listening to. Regarding Mr. Cherki, for instance, but I believe that's progressing very, very well. So I expect these transfers to go through very, very quickly because we need to get them done before the end of this short transfer window, because it's day 3 of the transfer window, and also, for instance, we need to get them done before get these guys in for the Club World Cup, which is looming on the horizon very, very closely. The other third news, etc., happened yesterday with Rayan Alt-Nouri, for instance, from the Algerian from Wolves. For instance, it was rumoured to be a Manchester City target, and we didn't really know how much of a target it was until, for instance, the information came out yesterday. And it appears that, for instance, this guy's been on our radar for a while now, and it appears that, for instance, it should have gone through in January, if not for the agent was able to mess it up a little bit. So by the sounds of it, the agent messed as kind of like messed up that one a little bit. But it should have been a done and dusted deal in January, I think. So that was kind of a surprise for everybody. The guy has been speaking himself about it, but he said he's only gone. He's not. I'm just going to concentrate on. They've got the 2 games for Algeria at the moment, but I believe he did it with a wry smile. I did to say that. For instance, the man he's expected to transfer to Man City. I believe he's already said yes to Manchester City, and it's up to the parties involved, City and Wolves, to sit down and thrash out a deal. Now, it's a little bit complicated because I believe that he has his previous club, Reijnders, French club. I've never heard of him, and it appears that, for instance, he has a 50% sell-on clause for this club. So if the fee could be around about 40 million, I think City trying to go negotiate. I wish they wouldn't for 5 million quid or so. But it appears that, for instance, they have to give 20 million to this Anders team, but they can buy it back out by Anders. They can buy out this buyout clause for 8 million. Okay, and then get more money. So Wolves have to give Anders 8 million. So when Man City is getting, say, for 20 million, so rather than give them 20 million, they can give them, for instance, claim 8 million and then claim for this, what's it called? So 12 million or something. But no, hang on. 8 million, so they can get more money. So 32 million if Man City, if the deal's going to be 4 million. Sorry, 40 million. So, but it's complicated. But just saying, yeah. But I believe that's the story there. So that might delay a little bit. But I think hopefully, for instance, hopefully it won't. But it was really, really sent a lot of City fans a lot of into raptures yesterday. I think a lot of City fans were really, really happy yesterday because of it, and getting Alt-Nouri in, Cherki and for instance Reijnders in would be apps for the World Cup. Really, really made really happy for City. There's also the Newcastle guy, Livramento, also is a target for Manchester City, which would be great if we can get this guy in. But I think this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Newcastle, no reason to sell. He's made no interest in coming to Man City or anything, or so from what I hear. But you never know. We don't know what's behind the scenes until it gets revealed. But I get the impression that, for instance, that's going to be difficult to get this guy out of Newcastle. But he's one of Man City's top targets, and it's going to cost. I think it would cost in the region of about 70 million to get this guy out. But what's it called? But something also happened yesterday, for instance, which was which made things a little bit different. The Pep Guardiola has been in had a meet as had a not a meeting had a interview with Ferran Torres in Spain, and where he talked about a few things, Alonso and other bits and pieces, and PSG and the Champions League. But he was also asked about the goalkeepers, Edison and Ortega. Now, it appears that Edison, we would expect that Edison to go. For instance, that's the reason why we're looking at Diego Costa, for instance, to replace him. Or we could lose one or maybe both goalkeepers. Because if Edison goes, Ortega will probably want to be number one, but if he's not going to get number one, he'll probably go well and get snubbed, and he'll go. So, but it appears that Pep Guardiola turns around and says, "Well, I expect both goalkeepers to stay." We was like, "Whoa!" in shock. But with saying that, though, I've said to you on this channel before, I heard last season, even though Edison wanted to go to Saudi, and Pep said it himself, no proper bid came for Edison last season from Saudi Arabia. Nothing concrete. There was rumours about it, but nothing concrete. And now, since then, even though there's rumours about him going again, nothing's been concrete coming through. Now, for instance, whether it'll happen after the Club World Cup, who knows when the transfer window opens again, but between now and then I expect both goalkeepers to go to the Club World Cup. And if Pep Guardiola says, "Well, I've heard nothing, I expect both," and he's spoken to both goalkeepers, and they're both quite happy to go to the Club World Cup, etc., for instance, in the first part of the transfer window. So I can see them both going, but I don't see anything progressing after that. So I expect them both to go to the Club World Cup. And even though I don't think the matter's closed regarding Edison leaving, if anything does happen with with the Saudis and coming in for Edison, I know that, for instance, he would be, he might be going if he doesn't want to sign a new contract. I do believe in the background, again, there's a lot of there's a lot of information, and you've got to take. You really don't know, for instance, who's what, and there is a deal on the table for Edison, or new deal or something, but whether he takes it or because he's been vastly underpaid, so whether he takes it, doesn't take it, who knows? We don't know. But it is interesting to see, for instance, whether Edison is going to stay. I expect them both to go to the Club World Cup. I expect Pep to have the players, the goalkeepers, to go. Whether, for instance, they'll stay at, for instance, whether they'll stay for the second part of the club, the transfer window, because again, it's the first time it's happened where they've got a transfer window opening and closing, and then the second part of the transfer window opening and closing, where they will have them, and where they have to go in for Costa, because I do believe the Costa links are still there. So it's a complicated one, but it was good news to her that that that, for instance, we've got the Duke. There was good news to hear, and if we can, that the goalkeepers were staying, and if we do that, then we've saved a bit more money, which means we can focus on putting the money towards Liverpool or Morgan Gibbs White, which is still not going away. But I don't think we want Morgan Gibbs White because I believe, for instance, the price for him is too expensive. It's 70 million. Is he worth 70 million? They wanted 100 million. They're now talking about 70 million plus add-ons. I don't know. It's difficult to see, but so it's a strange one. Yeah, Angus Sporting Director Lauren Barroso revealed that Man City came close to signing Rayan from Wolves on a deadline date last January. So there you go. So for instance, so that's just going to popping onto the Alt-Nouri thing. Rancho said, "People don't know me very well, though I say I have less criticism." He's getting a lot of bad boy criticism. Ryan Cherki, which is I think is a bit unjustified by people. But he's also a young lad. He's only he's only just turned 22, so I think we should give him a break. I think Man City has already spoken to his previous employees, etc., about him, and I can, for instance, if I don't think Man City will sign person with bad attitude or bad, whatever. So, but I think he's just, maybe a bit misunderstood. Yeah, Ragnori on Man City. For the moment, I am not focused on that. We have two important matches with Algeria national team. See what's happened. So we'll see what happens. I'm ready to the system. I work every day, physically and mentally, to be ready above all, and I'm trying to choose the best option for me to develop personal man football on Manchester City. A credible option for this summer. All options are credible from now and focused on two important of the games that we have in France national team, and we'll see what happens. Again, for instance, a lot of these they don't really come out and say, "Yeah, I'm going there," and so, but we'll see. Right. Other news was concerning Matteo Kovacic is set to miss the FIFA World Cup. He's gotten this heel injury, for instance, which he's having surgery on, and he won't be back until I think he'll miss the first part of the season. Really, to tell the truth, by the sounds of it. So he's going to be ruled out for a good few months. So it's a shame for him. So he will definitely be starting with Man City in the new season. So yeah, so that was interesting for him. Players like Kyle Walker is definitely returning back to Man City, but whether he will definitely he won't be part of the Man City squad in any way whatsoever. For instance, and we'll probably be looking for a new club. So, but that's fine. Talks between City and Reijnders are progressing well. I'm just flicking between one and the other at the moment as I go through the news. But to get in Reijnders, getting was it Ryan? No, both Ryan and it's called the Tiana Reijnders. For instance, is going to be excellent. We did have Here We Go from. For instance, from a guy I've talked about this before, but we didn't. I didn't hear much about it, and I knew that we were going for this young lad. But it appears that, for instance, that we are. For instance, that we did get the Here We Go because he's Mahamadou Sangare. For instance, so he was, so he is basically joined Manchester City now. 18-year-old, young man. I think it'll probably go to the EDS. I don't, more than likely, for instance. But I can't see him starting in the first team squad in any way whatsoever. So we welcome Manchester City. Mahamadou Sangare, PSG. So Paris Saint-Germain. So welcome to Manchester City. Let me just get more details about the young lad. So for instance, he was 18 years old. So congratulations. Where's the information? Don't know about him, to tell the truth, but I think he'll just be need for an EDS player. But yeah, which is good. So I fancy somebody for the future. Let's see how he progresses. But yeah, so it was nice to see that we've got a young face. What's it called for the EDS? Yep. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, great. So very happy to see him. I'll get more information for you tomorrow about it. But other than that, yeah, it was a good day overall, really. Hearing about Sega and Edison, again, I'm still not 100% certain he will stay. I think Pep wants him to start putting words with him. I do believe they'll go to the World Cup, but after the Club World Cup, whether they'll stay for the rest of whether anything comes in from Saudi, and whether because we need Eddie what's it called on a new contract. He's been well underpaid for a very long time, and we've got to see how it goes. I expect again, for instance, Reijnders is signing very soon, sometime this week, and Cherki not to be too far behind that. And if everything's sorted out with Alt-Nouri, then that'd be fantastic. It will. But it's really, really put a smile on my face. Liverpool are struggling to get the transfer through. Guys, I love you. True blue tie from Thailand. I'm just going to have a chill. I think I've had too much coffee this morning. Yes.